Hey everybody, hope you're doing awesome in this beautiful morning. Um, Thanks for being with us. We got a decent crowd here today. Want to give you an idea of what we're going to be talking about. Terry's going to be talking to us. Terry Weitzel with Fairway Mortgage. In case you don't know him, he's one of our preferred vendor partners, and he's an outstanding asset that we have as part of our team. Larry Lauder is going to be talking to us as well about WOW Videos and what they have to offer, and also LL2 Productions, which if you follow Larry on Facebook, you know what that's all about. Just real quick, we were going to have Prime Street on here, kind of a lead generation tool, to talk to us, but as we kept talking to them, they told us a couple of things that didn't really sit well with us, so they're not on with us. So we're looking for another lead generation tool. We're going to be trying out some different ones, and as that grows and comes to fruition, we will let you know. We don't know what that looks like right now, but we've got a couple people working on that. So if y'all have any recommendations, let me know. Otherwise, Larry, are you there?
I am here.
All right, the floor is yours, my friend.
Well, hello. My goodness, there's a lot of people on here. I don't know how you do it, because every time I try to do a Zoom call with anybody, there's like 4. I feel like nobody wants to listen to anything. So that's great.
My last pre-licensing class was 50 people, so I'm used to a lot of people on.
Oh,
yeah.
Speaking of licensing, I got to get going on the next one.
Hey, we'll talk about that.
Maybe I'll just wait till June. Well, hello, everybody. So I don't know if I know everybody on this page. I am in the Lantern office as well. I'm that struggling real estate agent because I got so many things going all over the place that real estate just isn't really, it's a family and friends type thing. Let's just put it like that. But I'm all about helping get some recruiting going for bringing some agents in. Last night I put up a really good question to everybody on Facebook: is everybody going to EXP? And it just turned into a marketing for Lantern. So that was pretty fun. But I do work for WOW Video Tours. That is my Monday through everyday gig, where we work on doing photography and videography for your listings. I am trying my hardest to get something set up exclusively for Lantern agents that are in the Kannapolis. We don't go as far as Albemarle, so if there's anybody with Albemarle that's feeling left out, I'm sorry, I'll bring you some cookies or something. But I'm trying to get something set up exclusively for our offices, and really get you rocking.
Hey, Larry, don't forget Asheville. You got Asheville?
Asheville. Listen, we'll go up there for that.
Oh man, I think our Albemarle folks are going to feel slighted about that.
Right. No, Asheville. Listen, I love Asheville. Anyway, but we're gonna get something set up. So just kind of be on the lookout for that. I pester the bosses at work enough that I'll get what I want for you guys. As far as what I do for myself, I do take photography for realtors. There's a group that I've got on Facebook called Next Realtor Up. I throw events all the time, basically getting real estate agents from all over the Charlotte, really all over the state, honestly, now at this point, wanting to come down to these events. And we do lifestyle photos, get you some new marketing. I also do one-on-one shoots as well. So I think even Paula's got one of mine up. I don't know if it's still your main profile photos, but yeah, anything real estate, media, photo and video, I'm happy to help you guys out. Certainly feel free to reach out to me. And if there's any questions, I'm happy to answer them real quick.
So you do drone videos and walkthrough videos and all that cool
Absolutely.
stuff, right?
Yeah, and if we don't put mileage into the equation, we operate in a 30-mile radius of Charlotte, Center Point, Charlotte, before there's any fees. A walkthrough video tour for a with photos and video, 3,500 square foot house and under is just $250. You get back your media the next business day. There's several in the office that's used this. Kim had a really nice house out in Mount Pleasant that we did, I think it was about 2 weeks ago. She was very happy with it. There's many in the office that's already used it. So if you got any questions, certainly feel free to reach out to me.
I actually went to one of Larry's Realtor Up events, and I'm the most antisocial person in the world. And I had a lot of fun. It was very got some nice pictures, but got some great food. I mean, you had Amelie's catered in Charlotte, so it was top notch. And I think you got another one coming up April.
Yeah,
something.
April 15th. I'm gonna leave some spots open exclusively for Lantern. I don't know how many because there's only a certain amount I can take, but I can tell you guys, this house, I haven't even told anybody. There's only one person that knows about where it's going to be, but it's a $4 million house, if not more, right on Lake Norman. When I was setting the amount of people that should be there, I was thinking 40, and they were thinking closer to 60 could easily be inside this house, no problem. So it's a massive home, and by one of the large builders out here. But yeah, if anybody's interested in going, I'll have some information out there for everybody as well.
Cool, man. I appreciate all you do. And anybody got any questions for Larry?
All right, I must have done good.
All right, yeah, you covered everything. All right, buddy, I appreciate it. Me and you will talk when this call's over with.
Yep.
Thank you, sir. All right. Matthew Young, are you on here, sir? I don't see you. Going once, going twice. All right, Terry Weitzel, you are our main speaker. The floor is yours, sir.
Awesome. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
So everything you need to know about VA and manufactured home financing, is that correct? Is that what we want to talk about today?
That's what you want to do, then let's do it. Yep, I think that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's when she reached out to me the other week. That's what she asked me to talk about.
Yep.
So I think the easiest thing, I'll point out a few things about each, but then if you guys have specific questions, it may be easier to kind of ask your specific questions, because as you know, there's a lot of stuff that comes up both with VA lending and with manufactured home financing. Let's start with the VA. I mean, and you guys see it a lot. You know how hard it is for a veteran to get a contract in today's market. So, you know, hopefully some of the things that we talk about can kind of help get around that. One thing that bothers me a lot is I always hear agents, listing agents, talk about, you know, the appraisal is going to come in lower because you have a VA borrower. And I dispute that, because the comps are what the comps are. Doesn't matter which loan you use, we're going to have, you know, the comps that are around the area for that property. So you shouldn't have any issues with the appraisal, you know, as far as coming in. Issues with the appraiser are lenders don't control the VA appraisers. We have a company that works with us that manages our FHA, our USDA, and our conventional appraisers. I can go straight to them if I have an issue. I can get an answer instantly. I can offer rush fees to get appraisals back quickly. Can't do that with the VA. Tried it once, got shot down, basically told me they don't accept bribes. So in the VA case, the VA appraisers work for the VA. We order it through them. We have to give them by law 10 days to get it back. But you guys know right now we're taking longer than that usually with the appraisals. The pest inspection is the only fee that the seller has to pay for the veteran. They don't have to pay for all the other inspections. They don't have to pay the closing costs. All of that stuff's negotiable, just like every other deal. Honestly, if the seller does not pay or won't pay, if it's a sticking point with negotiations, if the seller won't pay for the pest inspection, the lender pays it. So it's not a big deal on that issue. You're usually talking $75 to $100, but that's the only fee that the VA will not allow the veteran to pay for. You'll have septic and water well test inspections only in the situation where the house has been vacant for more than 90 days or for 30 days. So if you got a property that's been vacant for 30 days or more, expect those. And then as far as the financing end, one of the biggest questions comes up a lot, and it's pretty well known. A borrower has to be married for another person to be on the loan. It has to be a husband and wife. It can't be a borrower and his son, borrower and his daughter. It has to be a husband and wife. To have two people on the loan on a VA loan. Is there any big questions? You guys know with the appraisal issues with VA, they're a little bit stricter with the appraisals. Look at basically what you have with FHA financing on the appraisals on that end. Problems with older homes with lead-based paint. So if you have the cracked or chipped paint, that's going to typically be an issue with the VA appraiser. Handrails going up and down steps on front porches. Those are usually issues. I had a handrail one time, or a front porch rail, that wasn't painted. We had to send somebody out to paint it. They painted the front of the rail, didn't paint the back or the insides of the rails. Of course, had to send them back out again. The whole rail has to be painted if they ask for that. Anything kind of safety related, basically the VA doesn't want the veteran to move into the house and have to spend any money on it. So safety type issues, your mold, your mildew, moisture problems in the crawl space, all that stuff's going to come up with the VA appraisal, just like with FHA. Does anybody have any big questions with VA?
Hey, Terry, one quick question. You may not know this, but if a house is built after 1978, why is chipping paint an issue?
The lead-based paint.
But they stopped using it in 1978, supposedly.
It should not be an issue after 78, unless the house, if it hasn't been painted and updated in that time frame, then that could be the issue. I've gone out where I've had some issues. I've had some appraisers that have gone out 2 and 3 times, and the keywords on the appraisal, nobody will ever take pictures, and show you specific points where paint is an issue. The standard verbiage on the appraisal is any and all areas showing chipped paint. So I've gone out, and even today, you'll still see older homes that have old paint, and it kind of has the cracked run. You can specifically tell what it kind of looks like, what they're looking for. If it is an issue and they go out to paint it, just make sure your guys that are doing the repairs don't sand the paint and then leave all the paint chips on the ground. That's an issue as well. They won't pass it if the paint chips are on the ground.
So I had a house built in 96, and the picket fence in the backyard was chipping. So there's no chance that's lead-based paint, but the VA appraiser flagged it.
Wow.
They had to paint the entire fence. Quarter-acre lot, to paint a picket fence, that's a lot. And like you said, not get any of the paint chips on the ground, make sure it's all off the ground, and all that was an 8-hour process. But
and you'll have it too on buildings, flag poles, items like that are out in the yards. They'll address those items as well, even if it doesn't appear that it should be a major issue. The problem with the VA is we don't control the appraisers. They're not going to listen to reasoning with us. Typically we could go to a conventional appraiser. So that's the biggest issue you'll have with the VA appraisers, is that their word is law basically, and we have to do what they tell us to do. It's unfortunate, but common sense doesn't rule a lot with some of those situations.
Mm-hmm.
So VA will do manufactured housing. It's 100%. It's really the only 100% financing out there for manufactured homes. So that'll kind of lead us into the double wide deals, the manufactured homes. The biggest issue that we see on manufactured homes right now is the titling's not complete. You still have a lot of houses out there, for whatever reason, that the title is still not, it's the original title. It has been canceled with the DMV. And even though what I try to do on my end is I'll try to go and look and see, look at the tax card. Does it look like it's taxed as real property? And a lot of times it will say it is. But then when the attorney does the title search on it, you find out that no, it's not been canceled. We have to work to try to get the title canceled, get the intent to affix, and get the documents we need. The problem is it can take a couple of months for some of that stuff to happen, depending on where they are in the process. And the DMV plays a big role in trying to get some of the stuff done a little quicker. And you guys know how hard it is right now to get the DMV to do anything with COVID and stuff. I would say if you're a listing agent and you're listing a property that's a manufactured home, maybe go on and have your attorney do a quick title search, because it can head off some of the issues you're going to have in the process. A lot of times, especially some of the older manufactured homes, you know, they've replaced the siding, they've refinished, you know, updated the inside, the kitchen cabinets are brand new, the bathroom cabinets are brand new, the data plate information is missing. You can go to a website. If you go to www.ibts.org, ibts.org. So you can go and you can order the data plate information from that website. It costs a little bit of money. There's different fees for the turn times that you want. You know, we can go and get it in a day. I think it's like $300 and some in a day. It's less if you go 3 and 5 days. I would have your sellers go on, if they don't have that information on the outside of the house or inside the house somewhere, go on and order that information and have it, because that'll speed up the process. It'll help you as far as getting that house to the closing table a lot quicker. I've got one that's closing this Friday. The attorneys are slammed. They're like everybody else. Title search, title information's not coming in until usually a couple of days before closing. The title hasn't been canceled on this property. The attorney just found out on Monday. We're closing Friday, so obviously that's delaying the closing. But if you can find that information up front, you know, then that'll help you out as far as, you know, getting it to move a little quicker. There's not really a lot of other issues with double wides other than the financing in for you guys right now. Lori Allerton, I send a lot of stuff over to Lori. She had a 100% financing option with double wides down to a 620 credit score. Her bank eliminated that program about 2 months ago. As far as anything else with 100%, you're probably only looking at the credit union at state employees. The problem with their 100% financing on the double wide is they limit it to 20-year term. And a lot of times, you know, the folks that are buying the double wides can't afford the 20-year payment. So they're not qualifying, or they can't afford it, or don't want to make that payment. So you're probably going to have to do something like a 3.5% down FHA. Conventional is 5% down, but you're not going to really have any other options for a lower down payment than the 3.5 on the FHA. Every double wide is going to have a foundation inspection. A structural engineer will have to go out, go under the house, make sure the moisture barrier is in place, make sure the piers are mortared together rather than just blocks sitting on top of each other. They have to make sure the straps and the tie downs are in place. We have had some where the seller went on and had that information done up front too, so they knew everything was in place, because if you get into the loan process, it can cost you money. I've had a couple of deals where the seller had to pay $1,900 to get the underneath of the house updated, you know, to pass the inspection. But, you know, double wides to me are making a comeback because the inventory is so low, you know, with single families. They're affordable. I've got a lot of people that are looking at, you know, new manufactured homes. That is the one place that you can get 100% financing still. USDA will allow 100% financing on a manufactured home as long as it's a brand new one. So if you have buyers that are having trouble finding a place, you may take them to some of the manufactured dealers. Now, on y'all's end, I think, don't they kind of loop you guys out of the deal on that though, don't they? I know that I had an agent one time that took a client to a manufactured home dealer, and they basically looped them out. So that could be a potential issue on y'all's end if you do that. So just be aware of that.
Terry, hey, it's Sherry Argerbright.
Hey, Sherry.
Is there an age limit on the double wides for either the VA or I guess for any of the?
Yeah, for all loans, it's 1976. They have to be 1976 or newer. And I've done this 15 years. Honestly, I've never seen one older than 1976. I've seen some 76s, but I've not seen anything older than that.
Okay, I thought they had to be much newer. I was thinking in the 90s. So
Nah, it's 76. Now I will tell you, if you have somebody buying a, you know, a 70s or 80s double wide, and Matthew, I don't know if Matthew's on here or not, but the homeowner's insurance for a 25, 30-year-old manufactured home, it can be cost prohibitive. I mean, we've had some insurance quotes come back on, you know, $80,000 manufactured homes at $150 to $200 a month. So, you know, when I'm setting up the file, I'm already showing $100 a month for the homeowner's insurance, and I don't really care what price range it's in. If it's a $60,000 or an $80,000, I'm putting the insurance at $100, because that could be the difference between qualifying and not qualifying. If we're expecting $40 insurance and it's 80, you know, or 100, then DTI may be too high for these borrowers. So expect that it's going to be a little bit higher, and you're going to have pretty limited options as far as who can insure those. So you're not going to have a lot of insurance companies that will insure them, just like you don't have a lot of lenders that will lend on them right now.
okay, thank you.
Hey, Jerry, a couple questions for you. Well, Tim Sadler just sent in a question in chat, said USDA only covers brand new manufactured homes. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yep. USDA will only do a brand new one. They won't do an existing one. VA, FHA, and conventional will all do either existing or brand new.
Hey, Terry, on the manufactured homes, and I'm not an engineer by any means, but unfortunately I've had to sell a couple of double wides recently, and we got flagged on one of the inspections, or excuse me, the appraisals on the blocks underneath the house were dry stacked. The guy that I was selling it for actually installs these mobile manufactured homes. He said that is to North Carolina code. I talked to John Souther, who's a structural engineer for us, got his real estate license hung with us, and he said that's correct. But I guess the national code is wet stack. Do you know the difference there?
Yeah, that my understanding is they have to be mortared together.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's accurate. Yeah, I was going to say John's probably your best, you know, contact for that, because I know he's doing a lot of them. Jamie Basinger in China Grove does a lot of them as well for us, and that's pretty much when they go out, they have to be mortared together. That's what I've been told, you know, ever since we started doing these.
Okay.
So,
Thanks, sir. Hey, on the
yeah, John's really quick from what I understand. I know I've
yeah.
seen on the website, you know, it's hard to get some of those engineers out to do. So you guys have a great one there in the office. So make sure you utilize John, because I mean, we've had some that have taken 3 and 4 and 5 weeks to get them out there, and that only delays you guys as far as getting to the closing table.
Hey, as far as underneath the crawl on just say a VA for manufactured homes, the last one I sold, my guy left the wheels and the axles underneath the house. Is that okay?
Are they still affixed and attached?
No,
or
no,
just
they
laying
were
under the house?
taken. No, they were taken off.
Uh-huh.
They were left under the house because it was put on a brick foundation. And he
You
said,
know, I've not had any come back where that's been an issue. Now, I don't know if specifically they were under the house or not. My understanding is it just has to be removed, you know.
detached.
But then you've got some appraisers that will, you know, nitpick some things to death. You know, there's not supposed to be any kind of debris in the crawl space. Some will let some stuff fly. Some will write up if you got a 2x4 laying underneath there.
Yeah.
So I think it's probably specific to each individual appraiser and how they view it.
So that goes back to another question, talking about debris under the crawl space. Is it just wood products or any kind of wood, or is it any debris at all?
I've seen everything. Yeah, I've seen a little bit of everything. You know, the metal and stuff really shouldn't be a big issue, but I think it's the fact that if it's laying on the ground, it can create a moisture, problem, and then the moisture can lead to termites and stuff. So I know we had one appraiser that is fortunately no longer on our list that was notorious for writing up debris in a crawl space. I don't know that I've been in many crawl spaces that didn't have some kind of debris.
Mm-hmm.
So. Like I said, the biggest issue that we face is the title and stuff. So if you're listing those homes, I would try to do some due diligence on it up front. And I know you guys do, but see if Nick or any of the attorneys in the office can do a quick title search on it. And then you can always tell your client, the buyer's agent, we've done a title search on this already, so they may end up using your attorney for that, purpose of that closing anyway. And that can head off a lot of heartache and a lot of time, because that's the main issue. That we've probably done 8 double wide deals already this year, and 5 of them have had title issues already. So, and it's one of those things you would think that you wouldn't have that many. They'd be set up correct and taxed as real property. You can go to the website and look at the tax cards, and it'll say real property mobile home, and you end up with an issue. There's really no way other than just getting a quick title search done, to see if you can have any issues on it.
All right, anybody got any questions for Terry?
Yeah, this is Yvonne. Terry, can you repeat the website where it's possible to get the information, the plate information?
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's www.ibt as in Tom, S as in Sam.org. IBTS.org. And it'll say at the very top on the right, manufactured home certifications. So you'll see it right there. But we probably go there 3 out of every 5 deals to find out some information. You get the data plate information from there.
Yeah, that one is important. Thank you.
Yep. The other thing, I know that you guys list the buyer's agents struggling right now with inventory, and any little benefits you have with trying to get a contract, especially if you got a VA or an FHA or a USDA borrower. Ribbon comes in really handy right now. They are slammed. They used to pride themselves on getting back to you within 2 to 4 hours. They're taking longer right now with evaluations and getting back to you with that number and with rent. But I don't know that there's probably not a stronger offer out there right now. If you have a VA or a USDA eligible borrower that can use down payment assistance, Ribbon dropped their fee a few weeks ago to 2%. So that helps in saving some money. They don't have to have quite as much money up front to do the Ribbon deal. But if you're using Ribbon and can come in and follow it up with the 3% or the 5% down payment assistance, then you can go in with a 14 business day cash offer with Ribbon, let them buy the house, and then follow that up with a repurchase. VA and USDA do not have a flip rule. So Ribbon could buy a USDA house for you. You can start the repurchase the next day after they close on it in 45 days, and the borrower can get the funds they need for closing on the USDA purchase from down payment assistance. And it'll pretty much cover everything for them. They won't have to have any funds at closing. I'm not sure that you'll have any other, better offer on a USDA or a VA buyer than those. Now, you'll have to go through the inspection still. You guys know how that works with Ribbon. They're going to want, stuff repaired that's going to be a potential issue on a resale on their end. But I think it makes it a more attractive. And I know I've had some agents that have done those deals, and they're having a lot more success getting contracts for USDA and VA buyers. FHA, you still got the issue with on the repurchase from Ribbon, they have to wait 6 months to repurchase, so it's not quite as attractive. But with VA and the USDA, there's no flip rule, so they can purchase it right away from Ribbon on those two deals.
Hey, Terry, Catherine Long out of our Asheville office asked to explain Ribbon, if you can, real quick.
Okay. So basically what Ribbon is Ribbon's a company that's located in Charlotte, and they will purchase the house that your buyer wants to buy. It's the exact opposite of Open Door. Open Door buys the house that they're selling. You guys would rather work with Ribbon because they're going to purchase the house your buyer is looking to buy, and then you're going to get paid on that deal. So when Ribbon buys the house for your buyer, you guys are, completing your side of the deal at that point. You're getting paid, your buyer's getting in the house. They will rent the house from Ribbon until they're able to repurchase the house from Ribbon. Ribbon sells them the house back for the exact same price that they bought it for. So there's no markup on the price. They make their money from the 2% that they collect up front. The seller can pay some or all of that. Surprisingly, I've had the Ribbon deals, a lot of times the seller is paying some or all of that fee. I've got one closing Friday that's a $485,000 sale price that the seller's paying for $4,850. They're paying 1% of that fee. And the reason they do that is once you hit due diligence, if the buyer walks away from the house, then Ribbon still buys the house. So if you've got a seller who's in a situation where they are, purchasing new construction, have to close on a particular day, or they're going to have $100 a day penalty, then they're willing to pay that fee to guarantee they're going to be out of their house in time to close on their new purchase themselves. So if you need more information, if you want to reach out to me, then I can kind of give you some more information, give you a couple of contacts at Ribbon that would be good to talk to. Their website is ribbonhome.com. So you'll find a lot of information on there. I think the only frustration that some people have had with it is just the inspection piece. And I communicated that to Ribbon in the last couple of weeks. They need to come up with a plan on what inspections are needed for what deals. Certain houses, if you have a basement house, they may want a radon test. If there's no basement house, they don't care about the radon test, but they just need to be a little bit more clear about what's expected up front with the inspections.
Hey, Terry, you said Ribbon based out of Charlotte. Do they service Asheville?
We'll have to ask. I talked to Ryan a couple weeks ago about how to use the USDA deal that way. And we pulled a lot of addresses between Charlotte and Raleigh, and every address that we pulled, they were working. So I'll shoot him a quick text and find out if they're working that market up there. I would have to think, as hot as the Asheville market is, I would have to think that they're probably working that market as well. But I'll find out for sure and then let you guys know.
All right. Any other questions for Terry? I just put his contact information in the chat area. So if anybody needs to contact Terry, you've got it.
Y'all probably seen all the information with rates the last couple of weeks. We had hit 30-year rates about 2.375 on purchases about probably 16, 17, 18 days ago. About 14 days in a row, rates got worse. We probably lost a half a point. So we're probably, went to 3 3.125. They've made a little bit of a comeback, but, people sitting on the fence waiting for good rates to purchase, need to try to move now. I have people all the time that are worried about paying higher price for the house right now. I don't know that I see the price of homes going down in the area because of the number of people that move to Charlotte every day. And my argument to them is, yes, you may pay a little bit more for your house right now, but you're buying it at a rate that's probably a half a point to a point better than what it's ever been. So, when we put stuff on spreadsheets, I talk to people all the time about down payment. Everybody's, I'll just put a little bit more down to lower my payment. You really won't. As low as rates are right now, every $1,000 is about $4 per thousand on the payment. So, my statement to them is if you put $10,000 towards your house, you're going to save $40. if I'm going to give you $10,000 to save money, I better save car payment type money, like $300 or $400, not $40. So that usually helps kind of push people along. And the same token, when they're you know, trying to negotiate the price of the house, you know, don't let going, you know, a couple of $1,000s over list price be a deterrent for making an offer. You know, you're not going to pay that much more monthly for that house, and the appraisal will hopefully protect you.
Hey, Terry, are you seeing a higher percentage of appraisals come back that are not at the offer price because of the outrageous prices we're at now? I mean, we're going in, I mean, we're seeing, you know, 20, 30,000 over ask price, and I don't see how appraisals can, if they're done correctly, how they can come back and be at ask
Right.
price.
I would say percentage wise, based on the number that are going over list price, I'm surprised that we don't have more appraisals coming back in lower. But as a whole, I haven't had that many, you know, a few here and there. The one thing that I'm seeing more now in the Charlotte market and Concord, Cabarrus County, is due diligence going up. I get some deals out of Raleigh, and for the past year and a half, Raleigh due diligence has been way higher than, you know, Cabarrus County. I've had a $260,000 deal this year already in Raleigh with $10,000 in due diligence. I had a $255,000 with $10,000 in due diligence. And that has kind of been the norm in Raleigh, but I've only seen just recently higher amounts of due diligence for the Cabarrus and Rowan markets. The most recent one that I had there that was a little bit off was 225 with 5,000. That appraisal did come in a little bit low. It came in at 216, but at $5,000 in due diligence, you really are not going to renegotiate price in that situation.
So we had an agent recently in Concord, had a house at 389. They got 15,000 in due diligence.
It's unbelievable.
I'm starting to see it above 10,000 on a regular basis, which is asinine, to be honest with you. Catherine, I'm gonna ask Catherine in our Asheville market, what are you seeing as far as due diligence goes?
Ours is higher, but it is nothing like that. And we thought, when we started probably back in June, we started getting a couple of thousand. That was the beginning of them going up. But now I've not seen any that are 10 or 15,000 at this point. It could get to there. And I did have one that the house was, I think it listed for 238, and she wanted 1,000 due diligence. Well, we agreed as long as the appraisal came in. They agreed that if it did not appraise, they would return my client's money, and they did that. But we're not seeing them go to 10,000 at this point.
Wow, okay, thank you. Yeah, I mean, you give the seller all of the leverage once you hand them a check for $15,000.
Yeah, and the problem is once that becomes the expectation, it makes it that much harder on, you know, the negotiation and with, you know, the buyer's agent, because some people just don't have that money to give, nor want to give that kind of money. I mean, the appraisal comes in low, or you got a foundation inspection, or, you know, some issue, you bought that house. I mean, you're not giving up $10,000 or $15,000, you know, for something like that.
All right, anybody else got any questions for Terry? All right, man, I appreciate you, Terry. Appreciate what you do for us, and thanks for your time today, buddy.
I'm hoping we get to go watch some baseball soon. I saw the schedule came out.
It did, May 4th.
Across the street.
First day, yeah, opening day. We got our tickets, so we're excited. We'll be in contact. We'll let you know how we're going to handle all that.
Yeah, we need to plan something as a group, so it'd be good to see everybody.
Yeah, we do. We're starting to get some people back together. hopefully in some offices and whatnot, trying to be smart about it. But yeah, we're trying to open things up, get back to some normalcy.
Yep.
It's good to be around
Chris?
people.
Hey, Chris,
Hey, Sherry.
what are the rules on, or the, not, maybe not rules, but what's the situation with the suite over there? I went to open house at the ball field this past week and got to tour all the facilities, and it is incredible over there. I didn't realize. I've always just walked around the outside area. But the fella giving the tour, he said, well, because I happen to have my Lantern name tag on, and he said, well, Lantern has a suite. And I said, yeah, I'm aware of that. But I didn't know any details of what does that mean to Lantern agents.
Sherry, we don't know yet because literally we just found out Monday that we're going to get tickets. So we haven't hashed through all that yet. We'll let you know what that looks like.
Okay, great.
I mean,
thanks.
we got 16 tickets per. We split that with Nip Law, so we've got quite a bit.
Yeah, I was gonna say we don't have the whole suite. We don't technically get to dictate everything. We have to kind of coordinate it with them. And I'm not sure, Chris, do you know if anybody else is in on our suite?
Yeah, there's one other company. I don't, it's some staffing company, but I don't know who that is. So yeah, Sherry, there's a lot of moving pieces we got to work through before we say, here's our tickets. So.
Okay.
You kind
I bought a 10 game package myself. And then there, those great little outdoor areas where you can get 14 tickets together, and that kind of special seating and area. But anyway,
we'll try to get something.
Everybody.
We'll try to get something in writing to you soon so y'all can be planning on what we're going to do.
Okay. I recommend anybody who hasn't done the official tour and open house, because they take you in the locker rooms and everything. It's well worth your time to just learn about the whole stadium and all that really is there that's offered.
Oh yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool.
Hey, one more thing I just thought of that may help you guys with some deals. Carolina Farm Credit just rolled back from 20% on construction to 5%. They were 5% forever, and then with COVID last year went to 20% down, but they rolled back to 5% about a week ago. So if you got somebody looking for, construction financing, First National Bank will do 5% down in Salisbury, and Carolina Farm Credit, Amanda there in Concord will do 5% now. So that helps a little bit.
All right, thanks, sir. Matthew, you around?
Yes, sir, I am. How you, buddy?
Doing good, buddy. Hope you are. Can you respond to Mr.
I'm good.
comment and then let us know whatever you got going on?
Absolutely. Yeah, so to PNC's comment, we actually have 3 partners that we write mobile home insurance through. We affectionately call them MOHOs. So we actually have 3 providers that we write through. And it's very common that we have to have fun some way, Chris. It's very common that we see situations where homes that are older than 20 years, mobile homes that are older than 20 years, are written on some really limited policies. We have opportunities for full replacement after 20 years. So quite candidly, from 20 years and newer, we have obviously competitive rates. Our policy does include flood insurance. The policy that your clients can get through other carriers that are written on a homeowner policy for a less than 20-year-old double wides is a great deal, but it does not include flood insurance. So I will point that out. But beyond 20 years, a lot of carriers really give the policy limited coverage, and we have opportunity to provide that coverage. So again, we have 3 options to do that. This morning, I have been running ragged with situations, and I know this is going to come as a shock to you guys, and Terry as well. In fact, if Terry's still on the call, he'll probably come on and do cartwheels. But we have been dealing with an outbreak of clients who have waited to the last, not minute, but the last second to deal with homeowners insurance. And literally, they're coming to us left and right, and the agents are, wanting to get this done, to get this closed. The agents are calling back and calling again. And guys, I have a solution to this madness, and that is simply to get us involved early in the process. Like, for example, even before they go under contract. And a reason you may want to consider connecting your client to us before, we had a situation this past week where the property being purchased had 4 previous claims. And I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but if the the home that you're purchasing has 4 previous claims, that's a problem. And unfortunately, our quote included it. And the agent came back to us and said, well, my client's other quote that they got did not include, was about, include that rate. It was about half the price. Well, the reason is because it didn't factor any claims. So this client, because they worked with another insurance firm, wasn't told about the 4 claims that was existing on the home they're purchasing. So, as a reminder, that's a reason to consider getting us involved even before going under contract and potentially losing that due diligence money. So that's an aha I wanted to share with you guys, is that, insurability of the home is dependent on the claims history. So be aware of that. Now, if you file claims on previous residences, like your renter's policy or even your previous homes in other states, that still will follow you and can affect the rate you pay. But the claims filed on the property you're purchasing more affect the insurability. I would be remiss if I did not talk about HO3 versus HO6. There still seems to be a lot of confusion. We see a lot of clients that come to us that are purchasing townhomes that have an HOA, and they say, well, I need a condo policy because it has an HOA. And the realtor normally says, I need a condo policy because it has an HOA. But when we get to closing, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, the lender calls and says, whoa, wait a second, we're going to have an HO3, which is a typical homeowner policy on the townhome. So just as a reminder, guys, as always, I'm here to be a resource for you 7 days a week till 10 p.m. every day of the year for these questions, to address these issues and so forth. Lastly, I would suggest, guys, a little minor adjustment to the referral process, because I see lots of you guys and you say, hey, Matthew, I send you every client I have, but yet precious few call. And what I wanted to do to suggest to you guys to connect the dots here would be to, rather than just hand them a card, and many times they don't call, is to say to them, hey, I'm gonna actually connect you guys on a text string. So instead of just here's this card, say, hey, I'm gonna introduce you guys, and so shoot me a text. And if you don't have my number, I'll put my number in chat. So please make sure you save it, not only to reach out 7 days a week to 10 o'clock, but also you can connect with questions or to help your clients. But I say that to say, guys, it's a lot less low pressure when your client is connected with us on a email string or a text string. So consider that. That's working real well with a lot of agents. And that way it opens up dialogue for me to connect with your clients. It opens up abilities for us to help your client, pay lower rates in many cases. But above all, more than anything, guys, I'm here to talk about the best service in the industry. That's what we want to emphasize, because it's not just about saving a few dollars. I talked to an agent. I work at the coast, work with a lot of agents down there. And I was on my way back last night. The gentleman we had quoted in the mountains called me. And he said, Matthew, you said, I just wanted to point out that you guys were about $200 a year higher than another quote I got. And I went on to tell him, I said, John, how valuable is it that you're calling me at 6:30 at night and I'm answering your phone call? I'm at your beck and call. I said, so is it worth a few dollars more a month? I said, even if we are more expensive, although I feel confident we gave him better coverage. And he said, Matthew, you got a point, that it's not just about price. He said, what is a few dollars a month to get a vastly superior level of service and availability? And that's where we come in. So any questions real quick, guys? I just wanted to call in and chat with you guys about these current trends. Anything going on that I can address? Any Moho questions? Anything else? All right. Well, thank you guys for your time and attention. I'll put my information in chat for any newer folks that may not have it saved. And with that being said, I look forward.
Appreciate it, buddy. Is Nicole Barth with Home Warranty of America on here? I don't see her on here. We've got a new agent with Home Warranty of America I wanted to introduce you to. I'm going to guess she is not, so we'll move on from that. Couple of things that I want to follow up with real quick, and then I'll let you go. Melissa Jacqueline is going to be handling our compliance for us. moving forward, so you will see emails from Melissa regarding any of your submissions to dotloop. Melissa did it for my old company, and a lot of you were there, so she's very astute at dotloop. If you have a need for dotloop classes, we're not going to hold them like we have been holding them. You will need to reach out to Paula and schedule an individual time to do that. That way you can get your individual needs taken care of. And also, Melissa Gates is holding a forms class. So if you have questions on certain forms, how to fill them out, that is part of our education calendar, which we send out. Make sure you look at that. That's held every other week. Couple of more things here. Coming soon. We had an agent that got a notification from the MLS they were not in compliance, and MLS was threatening them with a violation, blah blah blah, because she had a coming soon listing that immediately went active and went under contract, which we see all the time. I saw it one weekend. I had 3 showings set up on properties that were coming soon that were going live on that Saturday, and by Friday they were all under contract. So it happens a lot. My point here is just make sure that you're doing your paperwork correctly. You got all your ducks in a row. That includes the coming soon addendum that is in our dotloop forms. Make sure you fill it out correctly. Make sure you get your broker in charge to sign it. Thankfully our agent had all of her ducks in a row, had all her paperwork done correctly, and they sent her a note back, and Wendell rummaged a note back and said that nothing was found in violation. It ended up being an agent that wanted to show her property that got mad and reported her. So people are watching, and now is one of the probably, I guess the better term is one of the worst times for angry agents to report people. So make sure you got all your ducks in a row there. Couple things we talked with Terry about trying to start getting back together in person. Of course, a lot of it's going to depend on the governor's guidance. We have an event coming up, and we don't have it scheduled yet. It's called Ladies of Lantern, and it's going to be held, I believe, at Paula's wedding venue. I was going to call it your barn, but that might not be so attractive sounding. At her wedding venue, Paula, are you there? Are you at your inspection yet?
Can you hear
Hey.
me? I'm driving.
Yeah, can you explain what it's going to be real quick?
Yeah, what we're gonna do is have I want it to be like a women's brunch, and it's for support. I want some guest speakers, certain business-owned vendors there, and basically just to get together and support each other. And it will be held at my house, at my venue in China Grove. So me and Dina is working on putting that together. So as soon as we know for sure a date and time, we will announce it.
Hey, is your turkey going to be put up? He ain't going to terrify everybody, is he?
The venue's not near my house, so we'll be fine.
All right. So that being said, Paula told me this the other day, and she said, "What are you going to do for the guys?" I'm like, "That's a good question you just popped on me. I have no idea." So guys, we'll be doing something as well. I don't know what it looks like yet. I don't want you to feel left out. We do, I think Paula posted on our Facebook page about a St. Patrick's event for the Kannapolis office in downtown on West Avenue on March 13th. If you have interest in that, contact Paula, I guess. Paula, is that right? Or Dina?
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Okay. Also, for the Harrisburg folks, March 17th on St. Patrick's Day, we're going to be having a kind of a little get together at your office. So be on the lookout for that. I don't think I've got anything else. Dina or Paula, did I miss anything?
I think you did very well, Chris.
You're awesome.
Hey, you said something earlier about Prime Street.
Yeah,
So we're still, working with them. They just have some strict guidelines where they wanted everyone to have at least closed a transaction. So I'm working on having that changed so that everybody can get in on that opportunity. So we're still working with them. They haven't done anything negatively. We're hoping that it was going to be something that everybody could participate in. So.
all right. Thank you very much.
Mhm.
Anybody got any questions, concerns, comments?
Yeah, I had one real quick, and I'm kind of a little bit late because I know you already talked about St. Patrick's Day a little bit, but I just remembered that I'm actually on call time for that Saturday, I believe. Is Lantern doing a specific event or host doing a table or anything like that for the St. Patrick's Day?
Paula and Dina, I'll let you answer that.
Okay, so that event that's going to be downtown.
Yeah.
We're still not sure exactly what we are going to do. If we participate in the event that the other business owners are doing downtown, we have the option to basically set up, because it's going to be, I've never participated in one, but what do they call it? A beer crawl, where you go to each business and you have a wristband and a beer is served. So we may or may not, we haven't 100% decided if we're going to have a keg that Old Armor provides us with. And then as the people come through, they get a beer from us. So, or we were talking about, Paul was talking about maybe putting together some kind of gift basket and doing a thing where, as people come through, they can register to win that gift basket. So we're still trying to come up with ideas of what we really want to do. We don't have to do what everybody else is doing downtown. So if anybody has any really good ideas, we can do whatever.
Okay. And will that event be open for anyone to host? Because, I don't mind doing it since I'll already be on call time, but I also don't want to be a hog and, just be the only one there.
No, this will be open to all agents that would want to be involved because it's such a big event that the city is hosting.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think it's later in the afternoon also.
Okay.
So anyone, I know if Jessica's on here, she could probably explain how she handled the Wine About Winter that was hosted in Salisbury. Jessica, are you on here? I don't know if she is or not. I can't see because I'm driving.
Hey, Paula, that event, the St. Patrick's Day Craft Crawl, is 11 a.m.
Yes.
to 4 p.m.
Is it to 4? I was thinking it was later than that.
Yeah.
Okay. Which, if some agents want it, this is what I was thinking. If agents want to set up a table out there, have marketing material, and it would be open to the agents that want to get together and create this basket. That's what Jessica did. If the agents invested in putting items in the giveaway basket, those were the agents that would get the leads from the raffle, basically.
Okay.
That's what I was kind of thinking, something like that, because it's going to be, I feel like it's going to be a huge event.
Yeah.
So the more presents, the better, and then I forgot how many names Jessica and them, they received from the event that they hosted a couple years ago, but I wanted to think it was like 300 names. It was a lot.
It was 100. It was in the hundreds. Yeah.
Was it? Like it was wonderful. So I think Kannapolis will be just as big.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, definitely keep me posted on whatever you guys decide to do because I am definitely interested.
So, I mean, I think it would even be neat, the agents that are interested, have a meeting at the office. 'Cause it's definitely going to take some planning.
Okay.
You know, who wants to participate? Okay, what's the budget everybody's going to spend to put the items in the basket? What are we going to be here? Are we going to take shifts? You know, I mean, we could brainstorm most definitely, whatever you guys want to do.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I can make a post on the Lantern Facebook page and get people together. And
You want to be the committee head over the St. Patrick's Day event? That would be amazing, Taylor. Thank you.
I think you just got volunteered, Taylor.
I'll be a co-committee head. I'm not going to commit to be the committee head, but I will certainly. I'll certainly gather people together because I will need help brainstorming. I can get people together, but I think my efforts will best be shared because I don't know.
You
I mean,
will never volunteer for anything else, Paula.
Oh, it'll be fine. We'll get to working on. Let's work on it, and we'll just throw some ideas back and forth. I will probably be in and out. I'm not, as an owner, I will not participate probably in taking referrals or anything, but I would love to help you guys have a successful event.
Okay. Well, that
All righty.
sounds good.
Anybody else got anything? All right, folks. Well, if you did miss anything on here, I did remember to hit the record button. So that's a good thing. This will be up on our YouTube channel later today. So I appreciate everybody taking the time to be here. And if you have any questions coming up, let myself, Paula, or Dina know. And we appreciate you. Y'all have a good one.
Thanks. Have a good one.
All right, you too.
Take care, everybody.
Thanks, Terry. Appreciate it, buddy. Thanks, Larry.
Thank you, guys.
You staying tight,
I am.
Chris? Okay. Double check.
I am going to stop recording now.
People.